Thank you for returning to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Put an end to your actions. Put the phone down. Turn up the volume and pay close attention to what I have to say, because what we just saw on Abu Dhabi's hard courts goes beyond a simple tennis match. It's an earthquake. In the realm of women's tennis, there is a tectonic plate shift. We anticipated a coronation when we arrived today. We anticipated that the Russian Federation's heavy artillery, world number 11 and second seed Katerina Alexandrova, would advance, crush the opposition, and establish her supremacy, as she has so frequently done on these incredibly hard courts. However, the script was destroyed tonight. The impossible was certain to happen tonight. The headline you're viewing is accurate. There are actual shock waves reverberating across the entire tennis establishment, from St. Petersburg to Moscow. The Philippines' pride, Alex Eala, is a 20-year-old left-handed fighter who did the unimaginable just 24 hours ago. She has questioned more than simply the status quo, she's taken it apart. Alex Eala defeated Katerina Alexandrova in a quarter-final match that will be remembered for years to come. Give that some thought. The global number 11 has been overtaken by the number 45. She didn't simply win, though. That's how she prevailed. Under the brilliant lights of Zad Sport City, we are witnessing a real-time David versus Goliath story, a fight of wills, and an attrition struggle. The competition was meant to be for Alexandrova. She is a powerful, flat-hitting force. She's the one who strikes the ball so forcefully that it hardly spins. In the last round, she defeated Diana Yastremska in less than an hour. She was new. She had slept. She had strength. Additionally, Alex Eala, a young woman who played for 3 hours just yesterday, was on the opposite side of the internet. A young woman who was behind Ali Alexander Sasnovich 0-4 in the third set stood on a precipice, gazing into the abyss of elimination, and managed to claw her way back. She would be too exhausted today, according to critics. Her legs would be hefty, according to experts. Alexandrova's speed, they claimed, would bury her, rush her, and reveal her defensive strategy. There was a significant skew in the betting odds. Before the first ball was even thrown, the commentators in the commentary box were already talking about Alexandrova's semi-final opponent. They were mistaken. Russia as a whole is surprised tonight because their star, their superpower, was sent packing by a player who just wouldn't accept weariness and the rules of physics. Eala didn't simply make it through. She flourished. She took in the tempo. She switched the power around. She opened up the core in ways by using that lefty spin. Alexandrova was at a loss for words. This is a huge victory. It's enormous. If Eala keeps up this momentum, we could see her make a top 30 debut. We anticipate that her 5th career WTA quarterfinal will turn into her largest ever WTA 500 semifinal appearance. However, this is a statement that goes beyond the points and prize money. This message was delivered to the locker room. The Manila Maiden is more than just a hypothetical idea. She's a contestant. She is an enormous killer. We're going to dissect this frame by frame tonight. We will examine the strategies, the psychological conflict, the pivotal moments, and the utter chaos that followed in the closing seconds. We'll discuss how, under the constant strain of Eala's return game, Alexandrova's serve, typically her greatest weapon, betrays her. We will discuss the crowd, the thousands of Filipinos in the stands who shout, chant, and wish their girl across the finish line, transforming an away game into a home game. So, fasten your seatbelt. You're in the right place if you enjoy tennis, underdogs, and genuine sporting drama. We are delving deeply. We will examine the structure of an upset. This is the tale of how Alexander Eala stunned Russia, stunned the world, and cemented her place in Abu Dhabi Open history. Let's begin. We must examine the background in order to fully comprehend the scope of what transpired today. If you don't understand a mountain that has to be climbed, you can't appreciate the summit. Let's begin with Katerina Alexandrova. She was playing some of her best tennis to date going into this match. She is a 31-year-old veteran. She is familiar with these courts. Since speed is the foundation of her game, she adores fast surfaces. She doesn't employ top spin very much. She strikes the ball deep, strong, and flat. It resembles a laser beam. She cannot be played when she is in play. She defeated Diana Estrika, a very dangerous player, 6-3, 6-0, making it appear like a practice session in the round of 16. She hardly spent an hour on the court and was clinical and effective. She was full of energy, full of confidence, and aware that she was the top seed in her half of the draw going into this quarterfinal. For her, the road to the final was open. She only needed to overcome this Filipina child, who was 20 years old. Take a look at Alex Eala now. For her, the situation is entirely different. She's 20 years old. In the world, she is rated 45th. Yes, it was a career high, but it was still far from the top 10. Additionally, she did not have an easy journey to this quarterfinal. Her road was dangerous and rocky. She faced Alexandra Sasnovich in the match of her life just 24 hours earlier. Considering how important those figures are to today's physical analysis, I want to remind you of them. She performed for almost 3 hours. The opening set was lost by her. In the third set, she was behind 0-4. She had to deal with match points. To win that match in a tiebreak, she had to muster all of her mental and physical strength. From a physiological perspective, Ella ought to have been worn out. The recuperation period was brief. A poor performance the following day is frequently the result of the emotional hangover from such a spectacular victory. In athletics, this is a well-known phenomenon. After your big triumph and adrenaline rush, you are left with nothing the next day. That was Alexandrova's expectation. The Russian coaching staff was counting on that. That Ella's legs would exhaust themselves if they accelerated the pace too soon. That's precisely how it seemed in the first set. To be fair, Alexandrova came out fire as soon as the action started. It was cruel. The sound of the ball leaving the sound of Alexandrova's racket resembled a gunshot. Pow! 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 She was stealing returns off Ella's second serve and snatching the ball early by moving inside the baseline. Eala appeared sluggish. Her response times were only slightly off. You are hitting the ball behind you if you are even a millisecond late when playing someone like Alexandrova, who hits so quickly and flatly. Eala was having trouble locating a range. Her strongest weapon, her left forehand, was landing short. Additionally, you are eliminated if you fail to score against Alexandrova. Alexandrova would just intervene and force a victor into the corner. The opening set passed quickly. Ella's serve was broken by Alexandrova in the fourth game. In the seventh game, she broke once more. It was 6-2 in favor of Russia. It appeared to be precisely the mismatch that the rating indicated. 80% of Alexandrova's first serve points were being won. Under 4 shots, she was controlling the rallies. Power tennis was tidy and effective. The Filipino supporters who had crowded the stadium in the hopes of witnessing another miracle became silent. The air leaving the building was palpable. It seemed as though truth was sinking in. Alex Eala seemed to have finally succumbed to exhaustion. You could get away with shutting off the TV at this moment if you were watching. Well, she had a good run, but this is the end of the road, is a reasonable thought. Alexandrova had a serious expression. She didn't perspire. Her respiration was hardly labored. With the assurance of a woman with a dinner reservation to attend, she made her way to the chair changeover. However, this is where Alex Eala's brilliance shines through. Here, we witness the maturity that defies her 20 years of age. Eala remained calm during the interval between the first and second sets. She didn't summon the trainer, snorts. She just recalibrated while sitting with a towel over her head. She understood that in a firefight, she couldn't defeat Alexandrova. She would lose if she attempted to hit the ball with Alexandrova's level of force. Her raw power is not the same. She therefore made the decision to alter the match's geometry. Eala shifted positions when the second set started. In order to give herself more time, she took a few more steps back on the return. She also began using the moonball rather than attempting to strike flat winners. Not in a weak defensive manner, but in a Rafael Nadal-style tactical manner. She began striking hard, looping top spin deep into the backhand corner of Alexandrova. What was the reason behind her actions? Due to Alexandrova's flat hitting style. High balls are hated by flat hitters. They prefer to strike the ball at hip height, exactly where they want it. They are unable to flatten the ball when it is placed high, above their shoulders. They are unable to produce the same speed. They have crossed the ball, which creates a risk. Alexandrova's cadence was abruptly broken. The ball would kick up off the court as she was winding up for a huge shot, requiring her to change her approach. She began to misjudge her shots. Into the net with a forehand. A lengthy backhand sail. The inadvertent mistakes started to appear. Eala senses a change. She began to grunt more loudly. After each point, she began to pump her fist. Alexandrova was being pulled into the mud by her. She was extending the rallies. Don't forget that Alexandrova aims to finish the point with 3 shots. Eala was increasing the number of shots to 10, 12, and 15. Additionally, the longer the rally lasted, the more the Filipina's gritty defensive abilities were favored. There was a dog battle in the second set. Alexandrova served to remain in the set after it went to 3-3, 4-4, and finally 5-4. The pressure increased. The audience awoke. "Let's go" Eala began to reverberate around the stadium. Usually so collected, Alexandrova began to appear irritated. She examined her box. She indicated the court's surface. It shook her. Eala made a spectacular passing shot on set point, a sprinting forehand down the line that only managed to catch a small bit of paint. It exploded in the stadium. 6-4, Eala won the second set. We were all on an equal footing. The third set is up next. The area of shock. By now, Alexandrova should have regained the physical advantage. In addition to the 3 sets from the previous day, Eala had now played 4 sets of intense tennis in 2 days. It makes sense for her to cramp. She should fade, according to logic. However, belief is even stronger and adrenaline is a powerful drug. Eala promptly broke Alexandrova to start the third set. The percentage of Russians who served first fell. Despite her best efforts to break through Eala's defense, the ball continued to bounce back. Like a wall, Eala was. Eala returned each lightning bolt fired by Alexandrov with curiosity. In the third game of the last set, there was a moment. For me, the contest was won at this point. Alexandrova needed to return to serve after a breakpoint. Her driving volley appeared to be a clear winner. I saw it coming, ran to her left, and hit a flawless top spin lob that flew over Alexandrova's head and touched down on the baseline. Alexandrova remained still. Her hands were placed on her hips. The shift in body language was evident. Resignation was the reason. It was the realization that this girl would not go away. Eala went from 2-0 to 3-0 and finally 4-1. The audience and Russian supporters were quiet. The commentary crew couldn't believe it. "Is this taking place?" they inquired. "Will the 11th ranked player in the world actually end up this way?" Alexandrova exerted one final effort. After all, she is a champion. To make it 4-2, she made one comeback. 4-3, she held. There was a noticeable tension. Eala has 2 breakpoints when serving at 4-3. The momentum would shift if she lost this game, which would be 4-4. It is here where champions are created. Eala hit an ace after trailing 15-40. An ace. In the first set, she hardly struck any aces, but when she put